The skuas ๊skjuːە are a group of seabirds with about 7 species forming the family Stercorariidae and the genus Stercorarius. The 3 smaller skuas are called jaegers in the Americas. The English word ๊skjuːە comes from the Faroese name skúgvur for the Great Skua, with the island of Skúvoy renowned for its colony of the bird. The general Faroese term for skuas is kjógvi. The word jaeger is derived from the German word jaeger, meaning hunter. The genus name Stercorarius is Latin and means of dung, the food disgorged by other birds when pursued by skuas is once thought to be excrement. Skuas nest on the ground in temperate and Arctic regions, and are long-distance migrants. They have even been sighted at the South Pole. Biology and habits. Outside the breeding season, skuas take fish, offal, and carrion. Many are partial kleptoparasites, comprising up to 95% of the feeding methods of wintering birds by chasing gulls, terns and other seabirds to steal the catches, regardless of the size of the species attacked. The larger species, such as the great skua, also regularly kill and eat adult birds, such as puffins and gulls, and have been recorded as killing birds as large as a grey heron. On the breeding grounds, the 3 more slender northern breeding species commonly eat lemmings. Those species that breed in the southern oceans largely feed on fish that can be caught near the colonies. The eggs and young of other birds are an important food source for most skua species during the nesting season. In the southern oceans and Antarctica region, some skua species will readily scavenge the carcasses at breeding colonies of penguins and pinnipeds, sometimes taking live penguin chicks. In these areas, skuas seem to defer to the considerably larger giant petrels. They are medium to large birds, typically with grey or brown plumage, often with white markings on the wings. The skuas range in size from the long-tailed skua Stercorarius longicorda at 310 grams to the brown skua Stercorarius antarcticus at 1.63 kilograms. On average, a skua is about 56 centimeters long and 121 centimeters across the wings. They have longish bills with a hooked tip, and webbed feet with sharp claws. They look like large dark gulls, but have a fleshy cere above the upper mandible. The skuas are strong, acrobatic flyers. They are generally aggressive in disposition. Potential predators who go near the nest will be quickly dived at by the parent bird, which usually targets the head of the intruder, a practice known as dive bombing. Taxonomy. Skuas are related to gulls, waders, auks, and skimmers. In the 3 smaller species, all nesting exclusively in the Holarctic, breeding adults have the 2 central tail feathers obviously elongated, and at least some adults have white on the underparts and pale yellow on the neck. These characteristics are not shared by the larger species, all native to the southern hemisphere except for the great skua. Therefore, the skuas are often split into 2 genera, with only the smaller species retained in Stercorarius, and the large species placed in Catharacta. However, based on genetics, behavior, and feather lice, the overall relationship among the species is best expressed by placing all in a single genus. The Pomeranian and great skuas' mitochondrial DNA is in fact more closely related to each other than it is to other Arctic long-tailed skuas, or to the southern hemisphere species. Thus, hybridization must have played a considerable role in the evolution of the diversity of northern hemisphere skuas species.